Hiya, hiya. It's Joey Reynolds Rap with a mask. We can take it off if you live alone. I wish they would make these things with Listerine. Wow. Too much garlic. But you know, this is the bad side of the mask. You're supposed to wear a 95 mask. That's not the year of it. That's that COVID protection mask that professional people wear. The rest of us are still in designer hell. You know, we're trying to look cute and pretty. And this looks like a bikini. This doubles as a jock strap if you're going to Fire Island. Anyway, I don't do that. I'm in Florida. We don't have Fire Island. Every island in Florida is filled with houses, condominiums. That's where people live. They live on these little islands. Hibiscus Island. I lived there at one time. Very expensive. You pay to go across the bridge, and then you go into your gated community in California, where I just came back from. They have Fire Island. the whole place is burning down. I shouldn't laugh at that. I mean, you know, you got to get insured by Lloyd's of London. You can't live in LA anymore without some sort of a payback. You know, that was a magic city. They call Miami the magic city, but it was a magic city. People moved to LA. They were attracted. We were all attracted. In the 70s, the music industry moved to LA. I was there in the 9,000 building on Sunset Strip with the Roxy, and all of the rock and roll acts were there. And my favorite song was by the Rolling Stones. Guess what it is? What a drag it is growing old. That's become my favorite song. And probably a good one for RuPaul. It's a real drag growing old. I think somewhere along the line I have a screw loose here, you know, and there's no one to tighten it because everybody is busy with fighting the COVID. You know, you can't go to the hospital and have your screw tightened anymore. You can't you can't get screwed anywhere. You're not supposed to touch anyone. And if someone touches you, you better immediately get yourself to a pharmacist. I don't know, what drug do you take if you are, you know, if you want to have sex? I guess is there something that you can take that protects you besides the obvious body condom, you know, that I talk about? But is there anything that protects you? Do you have anything that you could take? Like women have female birth control pills now. They didn't used to have that when I was a kid. Our idea of birth control was being a Catholic, and we also had rhythm. But these days, what do you take if you want to have sex? And I guess you're not supposed to have it on gate. What is that thing called? Grindr? Is that it? You call and someone comes over the house. Now that's a good Uber. When they deliver that, I'm in. No, you can't. You're not supposed to be having sex indiscriminately anyway. I mean, you know, the bird can get away with it. We think. She's stuck with me. You know, there's nobody that is more sexual than I am. I love touching and sensitivity and feeling and all of this business, hugging, but you can't do any of that anymore. You have to. I mean, Zoom is not a replacement for sex. I don't care how much you see on television or what you can relate to on watching other people making out on the soap operas, if there's still any left, or if there's anything on the big screen where you see one of these wild romances and they quick cut all of the sex scenes so that you can really get lustful. But it's not the same. You know that? I don't know if you know that or not, but it's not the same as real sex. Being married is not the same as real sex either. That's a whole nother deal. I go to Vegas, you know. It's funny, we go to the Consumer Electronics Show every year. I go every year, and I don't gamble, I don't smoke, I don't womanize, I don't do drugs. They don't want me there. See, I am the anti-Vegas guy. They want me to stay home. Wherever home is, you know. I'm living with my ex-wife. You know there ain't no sex there. So this is the way it goes, you know, when you are a sexual animal. I can't even say it. and you try to get it out. Nobody wants to talk about sex. You know, they're so busy talking about politics. And it used to be that you couldn't talk about religion, sex, and politics. Now all the television and radio is about politics. None of it is about religion, because people don't want to go to church. They're afraid that God's going to punish us. And maybe some think that we were punished by the COVID virus. There's those people who think that's a punishment from God. And I think somewhere along the line we don't have religion and we don't have politics to discuss, but we really should talk about sex. And you know, we don't have Dr. Ruth anymore. She was that very short lady. I don't know if you're young enough, you don't know who Dr. Ruth was. She was a sexual therapist who had a radio show, and she was on television a lot too. She, at her height, she would teach you to go up on someone. But this is the way we are in our lives right now. We're busy about everything except reproducing. Well, you're not allowed to touch anybody. What are you going to do? Put it in a jar or a vial and then have someone else take your sperm and have your child? There's no fun in that. I mean, you know, I can't picture myself making out with a tube. For some reason, it's not exciting for some reason. And I think somewhere along the line, if someone has my sperm in their body, and if it's someone who's particularly unattractive, that kid's going to be in trouble. He's going to have the mind of a criminal and the body of an ugly woman with a penis. This is no good. No, this doesn't work for anybody. But see, nobody wants to talk about any of this. This is all criminal, you know. And isn't it funny how puritanical we are? When the Pilgrims first came here to this country, they had these high collars from England. They had a chaperone sitting between them, and nobody could even get near kissing. That was forbidden. You didn't ever kiss anyone. And now it's a warm-up for the game. You know, we have Olympic kissing now. I love the speed dating they have. If you don't like someone, you go to someone else real fast. We ought to have that with elections. If we could have speed elections, I think we'd be a better country. All right, send him home. Next. I don't like him. Speed dating? Can you imagine that? I mean, I eat so fast. If I ate women, I mean, that doesn't sound right. If I went out with women and I had a speed date, as quickly as I eat, I would probably. Did I say something wrong here? Did I? They're all blushing. Everybody's blushing. Even the camera turned red at this point. No, you know, I think sex has got to be discussed. We got to talk about it. Let's put sex back on the map again. Let's put it on the television and on the radio. Let's talk about sex. Forget all this other stuff. Forget the politics of it. Let's get back down into doing the dirty. Let's get down to the old In-N-Out. Where's my In-N-Out burger hat? Where is that? I'll wear it. I'm just wild about anybody who comes near me anymore. I get excited. I'm an erectile dysfunction. Plus, I'm an observationist too. You know that. So treat me with dignity as a person who tells the truth and will probably be censored. If they ever understood what I was talking about, if anybody ever watches it, see, I think they don't censor me on Facebook or YouTube because nobody watches. They don't know I'm here. It was like when I did the all-night show in New York. Then all of a sudden when I left, everybody said, "Where did he go?" See, they didn't know that I had millions of people I put to sleep every night on the radio. I was very good at that. I was a good napper. What's a yapper and a napper? What's going on with you now? The bird doesn't want to hear this anymore either. Even she is bored. Come over here. Let's see your face here. All right. Now, speaking of peckers, that's enough. It's a Reynolds wrap.